Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we living. A couple days ago, I did a short preview on the Knicks vs. Cavs opening round series, as that was the first playoff matchup that was sewn up. Well, another one is sewn up in the Eastern Conference, as we will have the third seed 76ers against the sixth seed Brooklyn Nets. We won't know the other two Eastern Conference playoff first round matchups until the play-in is over, and we don't know any in the Western Conference yet. But the 76ers are third seed, Nets are the sixth seed. Of course, this is a much different team than we expected the Nets to be heading into the season. Kevin Durant was traded. Kyrie Irving was traded. Ben Simmons out for the season. So definitely not the team that was anticipated, but they still had a better record than they did last season, where they needed to win their play-in game in order to make the postseason. And they've played admirably, even without the superstar players. Of course, Dallas is not even making the play-in tournament with Kyrie Irving. Does he regret leaving the Nets? I'm not sure. But 76ers, of course, have probably the MVP favorite in Joel Embiid, after being runner-up for MVP each of the last two seasons. Should win his first MVP this year. And James Harden, former Net, one of the best assist men in the NBA. But who is leading the NBA in assists after the All-Star break? It is Spencer Dinwiddie. It's not James Harden. It's not Trae Young. It's not Chris Paul. Spencer Dinwiddie of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, Dinwiddie has not shot very efficiently. He shot not well over, but over 40% from three with Dallas before he was traded. So far with the Nets, he has been less than 30%, but also with Brooklyn, he has over a 4.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. Of course, we've seen Mikal Bridges, who was already known as a great defender, runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year last season, elevate his game further with the Nets, becoming a great scorer with the team. Cameron Johnson, full-time starter with the Nets, has played an excellent role with the team. They are 13 and 15 since they traded Durant and Irving, but keep in mind they started 2 and 7 without them and 7 and 13 without them. So they've won 6 of their last 8 games. The Nets are 0 and 3 against the Sixers this season, but only one of those games was really with the current iteration of the team. And I believe they only lost by 3 points. They do play each other tomorrow, but that is, of course, a meaningless game. Can't even consider that a harbinger of what's to come, because a lot of guys, I'm sure, are going to be sitting out that game. Sixers recently reinserted Tyrese Maxey back into the starting lineup. So bench has always been an issue for them. Last season it was. Montrezl Harrell has not panned out for the team. Paul Reed has really taken over the backup minutes at center for the Sixers. But DeAnthony Melton has gone to the bench, and he's definitely a very solid bench performer for the team. Georges Niang is a good shooter, but otherwise not much. Shake Milton actually has had a few DNP coaches' decisions of late. So right now I'd have to give a slight advantage to the Nets bench, because they do have Royce O'Neal, who is kind of a similar player to Dorian Finney-Smith, who starts for the Nets. Joe Harris has been a disappointment, sure, but still is an excellent three-point shooter. So is Yuta Watanabe, although he also isn't fully in the rotation for the Nets. Day'Ron Sharpe provides adequate minutes as the backup big man to Nicholas Claxton. And Cam Thomas, a big X factor for the Nets, because he had some 40-point games this season, and then he's had some games since then where he really hasn't even been in the rotation. So, if Cam Thomas could go off, maybe the Nets can stay competitive. Meanwhile, we know of James Harden's postseason struggles. We've heard about them. So James Harden will be looking to avenge some of his woeful playoff games in his career. Joel Embiid has been solid in his postseason career, but he just hasn't had that series where he's completely dominated. Could this finally be the one, fresh off what might be his first MVP season? Question I have is, who will Mikal Bridges D up? Because you figure PJ Tucker's going to guard Bridges. Tucker will play that hard-nosed defense, tough, but, PJ Tucker not really an offensive threat. So, Claxton should guard Embiid, but who are they going to put Bridges on? Will they put him on Harden or Maxey? But going into, hearing about this series, I kind of was thinking Sixers in a sweep, but I talked myself out of that. I think the Nets do pull out one game in this series. So I'm going to say 76ers in 5 games. But let me know in the comments, what are your predictions for this series? Does Joel Embiid completely go off? Does James Harden avenge some of his postseason woes during this series? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.